One thing you need to be mindful of is getting the back piece off here without any sort of damage. So yeah, it's just a matter of trying to figure that out. But slowly. So that's the back plate off without any damage. I've got another laptop where I did actually damage it, so you know, be mindful. So essentially, this is what it looks like. So let me bring the camera over so you can see it close up. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the Pavilion 15S laptop. So essentially we've got our fan there, battery, RAM modules there, and obviously our SSD drive there. We've got a 512 gigabyte SSD drive. I could potentially upgrade that to 1 gig. Right guys, for the upgrade we will need some crucial RAM. So I've got a 32 gigabyte kit. We will need a new SD, a new crucial SSD, which is 2 gig. And we also will need the SABRENT USB Type-C tool free enclosure. So obviously it supports PCIe, NVMe and SATA SSDs. So that should be the kit we need. So we're going to be using Mini Tool Partition Wizard 10.2 to copy the hard drive. So basically what we need to do is take, obviously we've already taken the back plate off. So what we're going to do is put our new SSD into our enclosure. We're going to flip this over, turn it on, going into the partition tool that we've got, software, and copy the SSD that's in here. Once we've done that, we'll be able to swap them over basically, and then obviously we will install the RAM as well. But for now I'm just going to get this up and running and we can get the copying done. Right ladies and gentlemen, here we have Mini Tool Partition Wizard 10.2.3. I will put a link in the description box if you want to go and get hold of this. But this allows me to clone the SSD. So as you can see, we've got one drive selected. What I'm going to do is put our SSD replacement, which is a 2 terabyte, into this SABRENT enclosure. So without further ado, let's get that done. So all we've got to do is open this up. Don't lose the screw because we'll need that later on. So the SABRENT enclosure just opens by pressing the button on the side, like so. And then you get your SSD drive out, like so. And then all you do is you slot your SSD drive into there, and then it slots into place like that. And then all you do is you shut it. It's that easy. And you can connect it via USB-C or USB 3.3, I think it's 3.1 or 3.2. So that's what we'll do next. Right, so what you can see I'm doing here is I've just selected copy the first drive, and applying it to the new SSD drive that we've put in the SSD enclosure. So we just need to allow that time to do its little job, and then once that's done, hopefully I'll be able to swap out the SSD into the new into the machine, and we should be ready to go. Right, it looks like Partition Wizard is running through the BIOS system now. Loading engine complete. Please wait. Please do not turn off your computer while Partition Wizard is running. Your computer will automatically reboot after Partition Wizard finish all of its operations. So basically it's just partitioning the drives and copying the data over, I believe. So as you can see, disk 2, which is the larger SSD, has been migrated. Just to give you a breakdown on how it's done the breakdown in the partitions, we've got 260 megabyte system, 60 megabyte other, and other 475 gigabyte. That's the original 512 gigabyte SSD. Now that's been migrated over onto the bigger SSD drive, the 2 terabyte Crucial drive, and the system drive is set to 337 gigabytes. Then we have 60 megabyte of other. Then under G drive we have 475 gigabytes, and then we have another partition there under NTFS filing at 1049 gigabyte. So we've got a terabyte in whole, and then the rest of it is split up. So we should have 2 drives as well as our main system drive. So that's essentially how the system is set up at present. And that means the next process is to swap out the drives. Without further ado, let's open up the laptop. You've already seen me do this using the guitar picks that we've got here. These guitar picks. And we just need to basically go around the laptop and remove the bottom panel, and then install our Crucial RAM and SSD. So let me just detach the SSD so you can see how it looks like in the enclosure. So basically the enclosure has a button that opens it up, reveals the SSD. Just open it up, remove your SSD out. It's quite warm because it's been copying lots of data. And then let's remove this and get the SSD that's the system one, the 512, and let's remove that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so we have some new RAM and the new SSD prepared now. Now we've cloned it. So essentially, you want to touch your hands on the side of the laptop so you destatic yourself, so you don't damage any components. And then we want to remove the RAM. Right, to do that, you just basically move these 2 prongs, and it should release the RAM module, which is a 4 gig. So let's move that out of the way. The next one, do the same. Remove that out of the way. So I get our new RAM. It's the really inexpensive RAM at the moment, unless we can figure out how to get it out of the packaging. There we go. So I've got a double-sided modules here, which are 16GB. So that cost only £55 for 32GB. So we just want to line it up and slot it in, and then push it down. Fits nicely, no problems there. Again, with that, it doesn't quite fit because it's lined up wrong, so it goes the other way around. So you just line that up, slots in, push down so it clicks, RAM is installed. As for the SSD module that we have, we just need to unscrew it so it releases it. So just take the screw out, like so. Don't lose your screws, and that will come out like so quite easily. Now we're going to keep that and use that with the external caddy so I don't waste it. So we've got 512GB available if we need it, with the 2TB Crucial that we're putting in. So we just slot that in. The one thing that annoys me about hard drives is they never give you the actual capacity that you're supposed to get. So I'm getting 1.8 gigs, terabyte, sorry, 1.8 terabyte instead of 2 terabyte, which is a bit annoying. So we just screw that back in, like so. So that's in, RAM's in, the clone drive is in. What I'm going to do is turn it over, make sure it works, before I put the case on. As I've probably shown you before briefly, it's a bit of a nightmare because in the older laptops, such as the Lenovo ThinkPad ones, you would have little compartments that you could unscrew, open, put your RAM in, and then screw it back. But this has no compartment doors, so you have to take the entire thing off, which is a bit of a bum. So we're going to put that back on after I've tested it, make sure it works properly. I don't want to go to the trouble of putting that back on again. In regards to the screws, you know, on the back plate, just put them somewhere in the sequence so you know what way they go. I'll take a picture because screws will be different sizes for different parts of the motherboard, so just be mindful of that. So we've got C drive and E drive, as you can see. Let's go into control panels, see if we can find the remainder. And as you can see, the setup of the drive is in 3 sections here. So we have our system partition of 337GB, our Windows 475GB, and then an additional partition there. I think I may have to assign a drive to that, but that's 1 terabyte there. So that's the makeup of the system. Right guys, I just wanted to show you something that I've done off camera that you've not seen. What you can do is you can delete a partition. So what I had to do here was left click, delete volume, yes, yes. Now it's unallocated, so if you had a problem with the system not reading that drive for some bizarre reason, just follow that step and then left click again, simple new volume, and then it'll take you through the wizard. Welcome to the new simple volume wizard. So all you do is you do next on that. It'll assign the amount of RAM, the gigabyte space. So we've got 1 terabyte on there. So go next. Now at this point you can assign it a letter, any sort of letter you want, but I'll just leave it on D. Next, and leave it at the default. So it's set to NTFS, new volume, and press next again and finish, and it'll create the volume. New volume D. As you can see, the system has registered it as new volume D. And there we go. We've got basically 3 drives set up on a 2 terabyte hard drive. Gives us lots of storage options here. Next step is to put the top plate back on underneath. So I just need to shut it down. So on this new computer, you shut it down like this. Go to the shut down icon and shut down. And that's the SSD shut down. Right guys, one thing I forgot to show you, so I just turned it back on, is I just wanted to show you what the machine's telling me in regards to the RAM. So install RAM, instead of being 8GB, it says 32GB there, usable. So as you can see, we've got an i7 1255U 1.7 GHz processor, 32GB RAM, and 2 terabyte SSD in there as well, with optimized with 3 drives. If I just show you that again, hopefully that'll give you an idea of how it's set up. This PC. There you go, the 3 drives. Drive C, Drive D and Drive E. So Drive D is the main storage. We do have a second drive. I'm not sure why it's split up into 2 sections there. But you know what, I'll just leave it as it is. But we've got our 2 terabyte set up. Give us a lot more storage. So hopefully that was useful to you guys. So let's get that bottom cover put back on. Right, so let's just take our enclosure and open it up. There's a button on there that allows you to open it up, like so. So let's get our 500GB SSD and slot that in. So then we've got a little storage device we can use in there. Just need to turn that round, that bit of plastic locks in place. There you go. And that's our little device. Only cost £19. I'll put a link in the description box if you're interested in this SABRENT SSD enclosure. It is USB-C compatible. You do get a cable here for it. But you can also plug in standard USB-C to, I think it's USB-A quite easily, if you want to use that instead, and use USB 3. So that's what we've done with the original SSD. So we've got our storage device, and then we need to turn over this so we can put the screws back in. So without further ado, let's turn it upside down and put. So I've lined up the screws that we need to use to screw it back in. So basically I've got 3 silver and I think it's 1 black and 2 silver, something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the top plate back on. It goes that way around actually. So we just pop that back on. It's a lot easier to put this back on. So let me just turn it over. Lift that up. And then we're just a matter of pushing it down, clicks in place. It's so much easier to get it back on than using these guitar picks to get it off. But that's just how they've designed it. So we just go around and make sure it's all in. feels a lot sturdier once you've got all the plastic bits in. And just make sure you've got it in all around. I won't recommend doing this multiple times though. So that's on. So that's pretty much put together. Right, I've just put the screws in. Fortunately the laptop is labelled, so basically you have 2.5mm ones and 2mm ones. So we've got a black one there, a black one there, silver, 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 silver. Those are all your 2mm, and the black ones are 2.5mm. So we've got the back cover put back on, and then we've got these sticky rubber feet that need to go back on. So it's just a matter of reattaching that. That one's relatively easy to put in. Just do it like that, and it fits in nicely. There you go. It's still sticky, so it'll adhere quite nicely. And then we've got this front one. It's a bit more flimsy, but that should go on. It's just a matter of sticking that on, like so, and just push that in. If it doesn't quite line up, just put it on again, like so. There you go. There you go. There you go guys, that's the laptop upgraded. Hopefully you found this video informative. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.